Hello, dear students. Hope every one of you are fine. So, in today's class, we are going to discuss about monopoly market. In the last 2 or 3 classes, we have clear understanding about perfect competition, the basic features of perfect competition. But monopoly market is a form of imperfect market structure. So it is completely opposite than perfect competition. In the perfect competition, we came to know that there are large numbers of buyers and sellers. A single seller or a single buyer cannot influence the existing price level. The buyers and sellers have the perfect knowledge about the market. There is free mobility of factors of production in the farm markets. So there are difference between a farm and industry. So there are no barriers so far as entry of a farm in the existing market is concerned. There is no barriers to the exist of a farm from the existing market structure. So there is free entry and free exist for the farms in the market. So perfect competition is basically generate efficiency in the economy. But when we are going to talking about monopoly market, it is somehow different from perfect competition. So let's see what are the definition of or what is the definition of monopoly market. So about monopoly market. Monopoly is a part of imperfect market structure where there is a single firm that dominates the market as a whole. When we are talking about domination, what is domination? Domination means the solo firms decides the price level of his product of the individual farms. That means there is no there is no difference between farms and industries. Remember it. When we are going to discuss about monopoly market or in monopoly market structure, there is no difference between farm and industry. When we are talking about or when we talked about perfect competition, what we came to learn that there is difference between farm and industry. So industry decides the price and accordingly the farms follow the price. But here there is only one farm that operates the market and it decides the price level of the market as well as output too. So that is why it dominates the market. It controls the market. It controls every angle of the market. So that is why in this particular sentence, it is said that there is a single firm that dominates the market as a whole. So it is not happening in case of perfect competition. So there are some of the basic features of monopoly market. The first one is no difference between industry and farm. So I have already talked that there is no difference between industry and farm as there is only one seller of a product. There is solo seller of a product, and that is why there is no concept of industry and farm. So there is only one farm that operates the market. Next, no rivals. As there are so many barriers to entry in the market or in the existing market, so that is why there is no competitors, there is no rivals. Next, no close substitutes. As there is only one farm that operates the market, so there is no close substitutes uh, of the particular product produced by the existing farm. And next, price maker, not price taker. So we have already discussed that a monopolist always decides the price of his product. He is not going to follow the price from the suggestions or from any kind of sources. It decides the prices and it also decides the output. So that is why in the monopoly market it is said that the farm is the price maker, it is not a price taker as in case of perfect competition. And next, barriers to entry. Yes, this is it makes monopoly different from the other forms of market. So barriers to entry. There are so many barriers, some legal barriers like trademarks, copyrights, patents, etc. These are legal barriers, economies of scale, natural monopoly. These are some of the barriers to entry. Generally, these are realized in a monopoly market, and that is why other kind of firm cannot make any kind of entry in the existing market structure. In the next slides, we are also going to discuss some of the examples. We are going to show some of the examples of monopoly market. And another important point is price discrimination. Right? Price discrimination is happening in case of monopoly market. So discrimination is a kind of process through which a monopolist decide a single price. Not so sorry, a monopolist imposed to different prices of the same product in at to different markets. So at the same time, a monopolist decides or impose to different prices of the same product at two different markets. So this is called price discrimination, through which a monopolist try to maximize his profit. Next, some of the example of monopoly. So Microsoft, De Beers Diamond, Google, Facebook, Luxottica, Coca-Cola, these are some of the companies, they are enjoying the monopoly power. These companies have more than 75% shares in their field of business. So that is why basically these companies are termed as monopoly. Next, monopoly power. What is monopoly power? So the natural way to measure monopoly power is to examine the extent to which the profit profit maximizing price exceeds marginal cost. In case of perfect competition, what we have observed that it decides the price at the equality between MC and MR. At that particular point, it decides the price. So, in case of monopoly power, monopoly market, a monopolist decides the price above the marginal cost. So, monopoly price is always greater than the competitive price. So, this is called monopoly power. And how do the firms get monopoly power? There are different sources of monopoly power. In the slides, we come to know that the sources of monopoly power. So first, elasticity of market demand. If the elasticity of market demand is high, then a particular firm will get less amount of monopoly power. Economies of scale. In case of monopoly market, the particular firm enjoys some economies of scale due to its huge investment, as a result of which the average cost of production in the long run tends to decline. And that is why the firm enjoys economies of scale, and it, due to economies of scale, other firms cannot entry in the existing market structure. So that is why the particular firm enjoys some monopoly power. Then natural monopoly. In case of electricity, irrigation, basically the public utilities related goods, the firms enjoy some kind of monopoly power because it requires huge level of fixed investment, and very selective firms operates in that market, and that is why the particular firm enjoys some monopoly power. Next, legal barriers. Already I have told about trademarks, I have told about patents, copyrights, through which some firms in the market enjoys monopoly power. So in the later class or in the coming classes, I'm going to discuss details about monopoly power. So in today's class, if you have any kind of doubt regarding my discussions regarding the definition of monopoly power, regarding the characteristics of monopoly market, etc., etc., kindly put your queries in the comment box so that I can make clear about your queries in the next class. Thank you.